Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: Zookeepers of Reddit. How are the animals acting differently now that there are no visitors to the zoo? As a zookeeper coordinator, I've been working at the now closed zoo almost every day for the past month. Animals that are free roaming, peacocks, iguanas, are more active, and follow keepers around like they usually do with visitors. Most of the others don't show much change in behavior. Although birds like swans and flamingos are using the edges of their habitats more. True. I haven't found much change in pets or those animals that are being well taken care of. I have noticed that this has mostly affected stray animals whose only source of food was by eating all they found on the streets/parks. Since nobody is around, they don't get food. I do my best by feeding like 10 to 12 stray dogs who come to eat at our farm. It makes my day watching them eat. Edit: thanks for the suggestion to get them neutered. I'll pass the suggestion to my parents. Ha ha wosh, hello there. Most of our animals are happy as long as we can keep their routines, feeding times etc. For some they need a little extra. We do public encounters with our koalas, wombats and snakes among others, so we spend an hour or so a day cuddling and handling these animals to keep them happy. A few of our koalas really fret if they don't get their cuddles. Otherwise we just try to continue to spend time with animals that are expecting human interaction, and of course we can take things for walks around the place like I'm sure you've seen at other zoos. Our wombats love a run and sniff, dingoes as well. Edit: thanks all for the interest, questions and remarks. Thanks also for the awards. I don't work at Australia Zoo for those of you asking. I do live on Kangaroo Island and our facility is pretty easy to find with some light searching. It is a privilege to work with wildlife each and every day, and it's something I take very seriously, but still appreciate the jokes and humor from everyone. If you have specific questions, it's perhaps best to DM me, rip inbox, otherwise they'll probably get lost in the comments. Thanks again. Your job is to cuddle koalas. And I'm stuck in home all alone. At least you don't have chlamydia. A few of our koalas really fret if they don't get their cuddles. Same. Actually, you can check the live cam video feed and see for yourselves. San Diego Zoo live cams. Amazing. I just watched an ape on the other side of the world pick its nose, live. It made my evening. Fuck, did I leave my webcam on again? I've been watching a polar bear sleep for an hour now, thank you. Edit: there's baby elephants. Well, polar bear is awake now, he or she seems like they are in need of a Coca-Cola. In our local zoo the apes started to miss the visitors, so they brought in an artist in who's now just painting in the empty monkey house so the apes have someone to watch. Edit: whoosh, this blew up overnight. Europe, they could tell they missed the visitors because they became very bored and are much more excited about the keepers than usual. Apparently they watch the visitors as much as the other way around. The keepers now have to pay them more attention to, and they also do stuff like hide food for them as a game. Also, sorry for the confusion, I am not a zookeeper myself, but I live close by the zoo and it was in the local news and such. They need a TV and Sesame Street. Just put on a Planet of the Apes marathon and they'll be happy for hours. Just try to see the penguins walk around the zoo in person, man. That's all I want. You can meet the penguins at the zoo where I used to work. It's just outside Chicago, if you happen to find yourself there after this quarantine. They get to choose whether or not to interact with you, of course, but they will generally choose to because you have fish, which is their favorite quality in a person. Edit: it's at Brookfield Zoo. I'm not sure how much it costs, but I think around $40. I've been told that morning encounters have less kids and more opportunities for adults to attract penguin attention without being rude. Because you have fish, which is their favorite quality in a person. I get this. My daughter's favorite quality in a person is that they are a doggy. Due to temporary staff cuts, they no longer have the people to regularly walk the wombats. Some of the wombats are holding the keepers personally responsible. Imagine having a 20 kilograms chunk of muscle with big rodent teeth mad at you. Can confirm. I'm not happy with the current situation. I work on an activity farm. There is a 22-year-old Shire horse. He acts like a dick when there are customers around. With no customers, he's actually still a dick. That being said, he's still awesome. Edit: I've been asked what he does when there are customers. Basically, if he sees any customer feeding any other animal in the large barn where he hangs out in the day, he will stare at them and stomp his front hoof on the ground. That guarantees they look at him. If they don't immediately come over to feed him, he will start kicking the heavy metal bars that divide his area and the pen next door. This makes one hell of a noise. And he will keep it up, all whilst staring at the person with the food. If they feed him, then he rewards them by slobbering all over their hands as he takes the food. Also, at the end of the day, he is really good at telling the time. He knows when we close and what time he should be released from the barn and taken to the field/stables where he spends the night. If he isn't let out bang on time, he starts kicking the shit out of the gate at the back of his pen. This is a big metal gate and it sounds like someone playing a giant glockenspiel with a sledgehammer. He will keep this up until it is opened. Some customers are just scared to hand feed him. He is massive and his mouth is big enough to easily fit someone's hand in. Some customers come up to me with their bag of food and ask me if I will feed him, because he keeps staring at me, but I'm a bit too nervous to feed him. I happily oblige. I love that ornery old bastard. There was a horse at the stables where my daughter used to ride. He would pretend like he needed to pee just to get out of having to make a go around the ring. The teacher would start counting and he would either start moving or pee. LOL. He was hilarious. ETA, wow, I'm amazed by the upvotes. I think my most upvoted comment before this was like 250 people. Thanks. How exactly does a horse act when they need to pee? Removed. Big cats get lonely too. It's true. One of the tigers I work with will yell if he sees me and I don't immediately drop what I'm doing to come over to say hello. Carol Barsky wants to know your location. And I'd like to know her husband's location. That goddamn bitch Carol Barsky. My wife works at the gift shop for our zoo and the other day we had to go move some stuff around in the store because due to some heavy rains, it had flooded a bit. Of course we took a lap around the empty park, other than the keepers and few maintenance workers, and found that all the animals were really active and playful. A lot of them seemed really curious about us too. I'm sure they get used to seeing crowds every day and were starving for attention. Or maybe 2 people is a more manageable number to approach. If I see 1 cat on a footpath, I'm going to try and make a new friend. If I see 12, I'm going to cross the road to avoid them. Speak for yourself. I've been in a zoo early when no one else was around and the animals were all super active and engaging. Yeah. They usually get fed in the mornings, so there is a lot of foraging going on. Personally, my favorite time to go is on a sunny winter day. BC they stay active throughout the day as opposed to the summer where they stay up long enough to eat and then find some shade. I certainly don't blame them. Not a zookeeper, but I hear the lions a lot more from my house now. Weirdly reassuring to wake up to and realize the world is still going on. Wait, what? Do you live on the plains of Africa, next to the GW Zoo, or do you own lions? Nothing that exotic, sorry to disappoint. I live very close to a large zoo in the UK, no Carol Barsky-esque dramas. The city's gotten pretty quiet with all the events going on, so the zoo noises are a lot more prominent. Can just about see the orangutans rolling about and playing hide and seek with their blankets outside if I shimmy out the Velux onto the roof. I live really close to the city zoo too. Can hear the elephants and lions and flamingos from across the street. To clarify, almost all large cities in Europe have their zoo smack in the middle of the city with houses really close around it. I live in Rotterdam, but if you check out Berlin, Paris, Antwerp etc. on Google Maps, you can clearly see that normal city neighborhoods are built quite near all the outer walls. If I could stand on the roof of my house, I could look right into the animal enclosures near the historic front entrance. Parking and such is all at the back where they made a new entrance and created new parts of the zoo adjacent to a park. Rotterdam has a really pretty zoo with nice spacious enclosures also. The 2 pygmy hippos, 6 bison, giant anteater, and lowland tapir I took care of. I'm temporarily laid off, didn't have any change in behavior. Sulcatas are still assholes. How are sulcatas assholes? They're just always in the way whenever you try to do anything. Raking up leftover hay. Let me just plop myself right on top. Need to dump and change our water. I just decided I need a bath. Just filled our water. Let me take a piss in it. Trying to hose the enclosure. Let me repeatedly clothesline myself. Trying to scrub my shit stains off the floor. I need to be on top of it now. And take another shit. Another tortoise is bleeding. Let me try to eat his foot overnight. Another tortoise is trying to eat my bleeding foot. Let me just sit here until someone finds me in the morning and not try to move or get away. Trying to bandage up my bleeding foot and provide antibiotics. Now's the time for me to struggle and thrash around. Oh, you installed heat lamps to help my healing process. I'm gonna sit in this corner and go on a hunger strike. Stuff like that. The guests love them though. They're likely the most popular of all the animals I took care of. Sulcatters. How are tortoises assholes?